Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the first round of the 2017 Scottish Fiesta Championship. We have the STs at the front of the grid as usual, and thankfully we still have XR2s to concentrate on as well towards the back of the field. On pole position is Barry Farquharson, stepping up from, I struggled to say that name. Barry, I struggled to pronounce your name there. I had two goes at it. Stepping up from the Fiestas into the STs. Wayne says he's been helping you, but he's going to stop now because you've stuck it on pole position.
Yeah, exactly. It's been great having the help from Wayne and getting my foot up the pole like this. So hopefully I can keep it together and stay on pole and finish the racing first again.
You guys still going to be friends at the end of today?
Oh yeah, me and Wayne will always be friends. Like anybody that's grew up together. You hear your odd arguments now and then, but you just rise above it and stick together.
Enjoy it.
Right, thanks very much.
And Wayne McCauley, last year's runner-up, lining up behind him, having, as he says, helped Barry make the step up to the ST. So this should be interesting. I'll hand it to Richard, and he'll take us through the first race of the year.
Thanks, Joe. What a great performance by Barry Farquharson in qualifying. Wayne McCauley will line up alongside him. On row 2, Peter Cruikshank, and then Rhys Robertson. Philip Liddle on row 3 with Stephen Ward. Nicholas Forsyth and Aidan Ward on row 4. Then it's Duncan Fox, the XR2 pole position man, ahead of Robert Kerr, and Graham Cuthbert completing the grid. So an interesting start then. Barry Farquharson, last year's XR2 newcomers champion, moving up into the STs this year, so learning a new car. And there's a great shot of Farquharson in blue with the white stripes and the predominantly grey with some green sign writing and blue trim from multi-champion in Scottish Fiesta racing, Wayne McCauley. 5-second board is being shown. Row 2, Peter Cruikshank in orange and Rhys Robertson in white. Robertson, you can see Cruikshank eclipsed at the moment, but I'm sure that will change when lights go out, which they do now. Good start from everybody but Wayne McCauley, that little bit more efficient, but for my money off the line. So it's McCauley that has his nose in front going into Duffus. Peter Cruikshank's in third, coming under pressure from Rhys Robertson, who looks down the inside. Then it's Philip Liddle in black in fifth position. A good start by our Fiesta contingent, but Wayne McCauley is the race leader. Now the question is, will Wayne have much work to do from here? Once he's in the lead, he tends to be a difficult driver, A, to catch, and B, to dislodge. We'll watch as they come out of the Arnold Clark chicane. Everybody makes it through, which is good news. No, not losing anybody on lap number 1. So Peter Cruikshank, this is the onboard from the veteran of the championship. Peter, who's taken 23 wins in his career, 35 podia, joined us back in 1997, so very, very much the longest serving driver in the championship. Ahead of him, Wayne McCauley still leads, and then the blue car of Barry Farquharson. As we said, Barry making the move from the XR2s into the STs, so learning a new car this weekend and planting it on pole position will be a major confidence boost for him for the rest of the season. Here is McCauley himself, very much, I think, probably the most successful driver in this championship over the years. 41 career wins for Wayne McCauley, and that car looking as immaculate as ever goes up towards Clark Corner. Wide line, sticking to the outside of the circuit, which means he doesn't feel under threat at all going into Clark, trying to avoid the hot dog curb, the raised red part of the curb, which will severely move the car offline. Wayne McCauley, a view very much that he's had a lot of over the years. That's clear circuit in front of him whilst being in the lead, and he'll focus on that today. Again, a wide line into the hairpin as we flick back to Philip Liddle from Stephen Ward. Liddle in black, Ward in the all blue car. The blue car with the white stripes and red roof is Nicholas Forsyth, number 54, one of our newcomers, as you can see with the newcomers cross on the back of the car, so he's acquitting himself well. Up into third place now has gone Rhys Robertson, so Robertson ahead of Peter Cruikshank. Robertson, you'll remember that name from the Fiesta Championship last year. It raced as a guest on 2 occasions, or 2 rounds last year. Last round of the year, didn't score championship points, but we're back with Wayne McCauley, who continues to lead this one. The gap in qualifying between McCauley and Farquharson was 1/10 in Farquharson's favour. McCauley at the moment the fastest man on track. As the cars continue, this is the view from Peter Cruikshank looking at the white car of Rhys Robertson. Robertson also a driver who you will remember raced in our sister programme, the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. but now racing in the STs. Now Cruikshank trying to get back on terms with him. Cruikshank qualified third and was third originally, but Robertson having made that move. Another Robertson raced in Scottish Fiesta racing, going back with Scott Robertson, if you remember, a couple of seasons ago. But this is Rhys Robertson. Here they come down under the Beatson's Bridge as Wayne McCauley tries to extend the lead over Barry Farquharson in second place. McCauley bagging the fastest lap of the race so far on lap 2. Farquharson had his best lap so far on lap 2 as well. A 62.352 for Wayne McCauley. 62.6 for Barry in second position. Look at the gap back to third place now. It's starting to develop with Rhys Robertson in third at the moment. Philip Little the best of the ST brand newcomers, shall we say, because Barry Farquharson of course has the XR2 experience. Best novice, I guess we'll say, best racing novice running at the moment. Philip Little in 5th place. We go back on board with Peter Cruikshank immediately in front of him in 4th place. And Cruikshank with 225 career starts thus far. So this number 226, and he scored over 3,000 championship points and dives up the inside. A little bit of contact on the 77 car, so some forceful driving by Cruikshank going down into the hairpin, and it's the run up the hill. Is Cruikshank going to get back on the podium? They're side by side. It looks like he's got the run down into Duffer's Dip. Wayne McCauley though still the race leader at Scotsman. Look at the lead that he is trying to develop. That lead, I would say, about a second at the moment over Barry Farquharson. So along the Brabham Straight and into Clark Curve go McCauley and Farquharson. I tell you what, it was Cruikshank into third. Rhys Robertson fighting back, has a wider line here. Is that going to be beneficial for Robertson to get back on terms with Cruikshank? I think he was maybe on the brakes a little bit, so perhaps won't get the run here, but he'll try and use that wider line on later laps to gain more momentum, to maybe slingshot on the inside coming into this corner here, but he can't do it on this lap because it's Cruikshank still there. A little bit of a lock-up from Rhys Robertson. Fine race between these two, real game of cat and mouse. Be interesting to see the other side of Robertson's car, see if there's a little dent in there. Philip Little running well, Stephen Ward in 6th place behind him, then the 54 car of Nicholas Forsyth running in 7th place. Aidan Ward is in 8th, he's running in the STs as well. We've got an XR2 battle, only the 3 XR2s this weekend, and we'll come to them later on. Peter Cruikshank's got clear track in front of him. That means that Rhys Robertson is still behind him, and that's not a defensive line either from Peter Cruikshank. So Peter, I think, looking comfortably in 3rd place at the moment. We'll wait for the outfield shot to see exactly where Rhys Robertson is. Well, I mentioned the XR2s, and this is the battle for second position in the XR2s. Out front at the moment is Graham Cuthbert. Keep your eyes open for the grey and green car of Cuthbert, as Robert Kerr, driver who joined us last year, is out front ahead of Duncan Fox. There is Graham Cuthbert up ahead. So the XR2s all in shot. Hopefully we'll get a few more drivers coming out and racing in what is now really, you have to say, a classic car or a future classic car, and been very much a staple of the viewing here at Knockhill over the seasons. Back to Peter Cruikshank. Well, I said that it wasn't a defensive line from Cruikshank, but Rhys Robertson is still there and very much in his mirrors as we go back to the Kerr and Fox battle for second position. Both of these drivers in the XR2 newcomer category as recent joiners to the championship. Duncan Fox having his debut. Robert Kerr raced with us last year and completed 11 races, or started 11 races last year with us, so has a tad more experience than Duncan Fox. The newcomer category can stretch across 2 seasons, and we'll see whether Duncan Fox, who will certainly be learning from Robert Kerr, see if he can overtake him. And he's taking a nice wide line there and thinking about his momentum going up the hill. But as you can see, Graham Cuthbert still leading the XR2s at the minute. Cuthbert has been with us a couple of seasons now. Gap has come down between Wayne McCauley and Barry Farquharson, so either Wayne McCauley's got a little bit of an issue or Barry Farquharson is turning things up as we're in the closing stages. Last lap of the race, we've got these two leaders have already lapped, Kerr and Fox in the XR2s, running second and third in that class. Whether they will catch Graham Cuthbert remains to be seen. It's a fair old gap, so I think Cuthbert may well have to complete the full 12 lap distance, but we follow the race leader Wayne McCauley, looking for a 42nd career win. It will be a landmark 60th podium for Wayne Macaulay here, and goes up the hill. He's not going to lap Graham Cuthbert, but he's going to take the checkered flag. Macaulay wins round 1 of the 2017 Scottish Fiesta Championship from Barry Farquharson. Graham Cuthbert will win the XR2. Second in the XR2s goes there to Robert Kerr from Duncan Fox. A great race from Peter Cruikshank and Rhys Robertson who crossed the line. There is Philip Liddle on his first race, finishing 5th, just ahead of Stephen Ward, and then Nicholas Forsyth in 7th place. But let's take a look at the overall result. Wayne Macaulay takes win and fastest lap. Barry Farquharson pole, but down to 2nd. Then Peter Cruikshank, Rhys Robertson, Philip Liddle, Stephen Ward from Nicholas Forsyth and Aidan Ward. Graham Cuthbert is the first XR2 ahead of Robert Kerr, with Duncan Fox completing the finishes. All 11 cars making it to the flag.
Wayne, I never doubted you. Obviously, I knew you were going to overcome the problems ahead of you. But a win is a good way to start the year.
Yeah, it's a really good way to start the year, but we've got a couple of problems from that race there, and hopefully we'll get them sorted out for the second one, because if we don't get them sorted out, I don't think we'll be doing very much in the second race.
What's the problems?
Clutch was slipping most of the probably the last half of that race. And
good luck.
Getting worse, so.
I know it's a big job, I'll let you go.
Yeah, thanks very much, cheers.
And a win to start the year, well done.
Absolutely, really chuffed by it. A great start for the season. It just kind of proves my little team have got the makings of the car, and we're starting to get the grips of it, so hopefully you see more of these.
Fiesta's race number 2, and back on pole position where he belongs, I would imagine, Wayne Macaulay. How many times have we seen Wayne on pole position in the Fiesta STs? Wayne, back on pole position where you belong?
Is it?
You tell me.
Well, we hope so anyway for this year. But
we saw the dramas after the first one with the clutch. I take it it's all sorted?
we'll hope. We've put it out and cleaned it all and put it back in, so hopefully it stays dry this time. Oil on it.
Good luck.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
And with that, Richard, here comes the Fiestas, race number 2.
Thanks, Joe. Wayne Macaulay on pole position. Barry Farquharson, who finished 2nd in race number 1, lines up alongside the 2nd row, renewing battle Peter Cruikshank and Rhys Robertson. Row 3, Philip Liddle and Stephen Ward, then Nicholas Forsyth and Aidan Ward. Graham Cuthbert, the XR2 pole position man from Robert Kerr, and Duncan Fox. Round 2 of the championship about to get underway. Wayne Macaulay looking to make it a double, as no doubt he may well do in celebrations in the bar afterwards. The lights are going out now, and we are underway. Let's see whether Rhys Robertson can get into 3rd place. Against a great start by Macaulay. Cruikshank goes into 3rd place. Be careful, Farquharson on the outside line, because Cruikshank looks up to try and get 2nd position from him, but Farquharson gets the sweep. Philip Liddle is again in 5th position, up ahead of Stephen Ward. So a good start, and Wayne Macaulay, after we did have problems in race number 1, as we heard, is in the lead, and we'll be looking to have a bigger win in this one. The margin in race number 1 was 1.062 seconds. Here's the view from Peter Cruikshank, 3rd place, so we can expect a renewed battle with Rhys Robertson, and this augurs well for this year's championship. Coming along Hislops, the railway straight, down in towards the tri-oval section, which is used for midweek stock car racing here at Knockhill Circuit. Cloud cover a little bit worse than we've been experiencing over the course of the day, and Cruikshank goes around but lights up the tyres once again. Now, was that contact from Rhys Robertson and possibly, or dare I say, retaliation? We won't know unless we speak to the drivers or maybe have a look at the outfield shot. We don't always have time for replays in this racing, but Robertson has continued, and Peter Cruikshank has got some work to do now. He is a way back. Up ahead of him, 54 Nicholas Forsyth. Robertson down the inside line of Philip Liddle. Oh, wide moment for Robertson, who jumps back on track, and Liddle jumps back on his inside. But Robertson using more experience to go through the chicane and make that position up. So Robertson has got 2 cars between himself and Peter Cruikshank. Then we've got the lead XR2 once again of Graham Cuthbert. Goodness me, all going off at the start of this 2nd race of the 2017 season with Wayne Macaulay out front. But we look at Nicholas Forsyth, the Edinburgh-based driver, 7th position in race number 1, and Rhys Robertson will be keen to get that position back. Peter Cruikshank trying to close in on Stephen Ward at the moment. Ward down behind Philip Liddle. Up and over the brow they go. You can see really good lead at the moment for Graham Cuthbert. Second position is still Robert Kerr, with Duncan Fox in third in the XR2, so it looks like a mirror result for those. As down the inside goes Rhys Robertson and made the dive down at Scotsman corner, and as ever carries the momentum, maybe a little bit too far, but did well to hold on to that. You can see Robertson absolutely flying at the moment. Here's Cruikshank, the older obviously of the two drivers, as I said, has been a long-term driver in this championship, will coolly and calmly attempt to pick everybody off one by one in his recovery up the field, and it is Stephen Ward immediately in front of him. Stephen's been with us a few seasons, Peter Cruikshank has as well, so Robertson now ahead of Nicholas Forsyth, and he's maintained that, but he's got some work to do. As you can see, a massive gap up ahead for Robertson to try and deal with. Peter Cruikshank makes a move, looks down the inside line here of Stephen Ward, and he is through, makes that before they get to Duffus. Keep your eyes open for the orange car of Peter Cruikshank. Even better, we'll go on board with him and see that the next car that he wants to try and pass is the 88 machine. That's Philip Liddle, the Glaswegian, immediately ahead of him. Nicholas Forsyth immediately ahead of Liddle, so Cruikshank working his way methodically through the cars at the moment after that incident at the hairpin. Meanwhile, we need to pick up on our race leaders, and it's Wayne McCauley still there. McCauley sets the fastest lap on lap 3 once again. Another lap time in the 62 second bracket, 62.623 this time. It was a 62.3 in race number 1, and he's still got time to improve on his best lap as Rhys Robertson goes through. Then the 54 car of Nicholas Forsyth. Philip Liddle still ahead at the moment of Peter Cruikshank to go down Duffus through Leslie's and towards Scotsman corner. Cruikshank was looking tight there to look on the inside line at Scotsman and goes through, runs a little bit wide, but Liddle doesn't have room or momentum to poke his nose back up the inside line, so a very good move indeed by Peter Cruikshank, who again is making this progress. Here we go, on board with Peter once again, up into Clark Curve and maintains the chase. I'm sure he's going to be very much focused on Rhys Robertson, the white car immediately in front, because he'll want to get back in front of Rhys. Did that in race number 1, so it's all been physical between those two seemingly at the hairpin. Nicholas Forsyth still in front at the moment of Peter Cruikshank, so Peter trying to hunt him down. Forsyth lapping in the 63s. Peter Cruikshank is slightly faster and consistently, so he will in theory be able to chip that gap down. Liddle coming under pressure from Stephen Ward in 55. Not a huge gap between those two at the moment. So the ST class, which was introduced to start to replace the XR2s as the numbers started or began to drop away a few seasons ago. There is an ST championship that runs in England as well, so the guys have the option. It looks like a problem for Rhys Robertson, who pulls over onto the inside of the track, and Rhys Robertson has indeed got an issue. We'll see whether he makes it round into the pits, but Rhys Robertson, it looks like game over for the number 77 car. It's going to be the first retirement of this race, and indeed the first retirement of the season in the Scottish Fiesta Championship as well, because we had all 11 cars finishing race 1. Back to McCauley and Farquharson, who are still out front. Look at the gap that they've got over the chasers, still headed by Nicholas Forsyth, but now it is Peter Cruikshank who is in a position to challenge for a podium finish once again. Philip Liddle is immediately behind. Now Forsyth's going to be pleased if he can pick up a podium, but all said too soon, because again a trademark Peter Cruikshank move down the inside at Scotsman gets him back on the podium. The veteran Peter Cruikshank here on for a 37th podium of his career. Points wise, I can tell you that Wayne McCauley, who is in front here still ahead of Barry Farquharson, actually broke the 2,500 career points barrier in race number 1. and he's still around about 800 shy of Peter Cruikshank in terms of career points, but for wins, Wayne McCauley does have the edge, and this is, I think, going to be, if he stays on, and a little bit of contact there by Little and Forsyth, who get into it again, and Little goes off. That is a nasty hit into the tyre wall. Well, there was a little bit of contact going up into Clark, and into the wall goes Philip Little as we go back and pick up. That has got to be a safety car, if not a race stoppage here. But we're back with Robert Kerr in 44 chasing Duncan Fox. Graham Cuthbert is still the leader in the XR2s. Now they're coming down into the zone where the problems were with the STs. And you can see Philip Little's car. It looks like Philip is out. And off as well there is Nicholas Forsyth. And that is a very badly damaged car. Not what we expect or want to see. It looks like Nicholas is getting out. Marshall's very quickly on scene to give him some attention. But that is going to be, I think, a red flag along with a checkered flag, which means, because we have had 9 laps of racing, and indeed Wayne McCauley will take the win from Barry Farquharson and Peter Cruikshank. Stephen Ward in 4th from Aidan Ward. Graham Cuthbert wins the XR2s ahead of Duncan Fox. Non-finishers, Nicholas Forsyth, Philip Little, Reece Robertson, and sadly an exclusion for Robert Kerr.
Wayne, bad qualifying, but you put it right with 2 race wins.
Yeah, we'll come back there in these 2 races, and it's looking good for the start of the season so far, so hopefully we can keep this up.
Couple tiny wee spots of rain. You must have been pretty relieved when the red flags came out, if anything.
No, I would have loved the rain to have come on, to be honest, but yeah, no, it's going alright, but there are a few issues we need to sort out with the car, and hopefully they'll resort it for next meeting. And
how was the clutch? It obviously not slipping this time.
no, it didn't slip this time, no, so it was alright.
Well done.
Thank you.
Barry, well done. A great day in the STs for your debut in the STs. A pole position, 2 second places. You've got Wayne worried.
Yeah, well, he was hoping that near the end there we sort of got a catch up on Wayne, but as you say, it was red flagged, so it would have been good.
I'm predicting a good battle between you two this year, and like you assured me, you're going to remain friends.
Yeah, like you say, we're going to remain friends, but I wasn't hoping to do a full season. It was just planning out how it was going to go today, but I think I'll be back to do a full season. I'll just got on with it, basically.
Well done.
Thanks again.
Graham, another win.
Absolutely.
What a stallion.
We're doing rather well, aren't we? It's been kind of soured. I mean, obviously, the thoughts are out with the guys in the STs down there that have their bad offs. So you don't like to see a race finishing in that way. But having said that, we had a really, really good battle in the XR class. The man over there, Mr. Fox, Rob Kerr, they kept me fairly honest. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we get a few more XRs out to play next round.
Well done. Well, unfortunately, that brings today's action to a close. But as ever with the Scottish Motor Racing Club, we've seen action all day long. We've got plenty more to come in May. So make sure you tune in next time.